So this is one of the books I picked up through one of the other business books I read, maybe. I heard it in a show. It was definitely a book I read. And then I read it because I was trying to shift between philosophy or mindset to business-oriented books. So that's how I decided I'll read books now. Some professional, mostly business-oriented book, I would say. And then the other book would be philosophy or relationship, whatever the case is, whatever catches my eye. So that's why I read it. And it's an amazing book in the sense, okay, fine, I'm not in $100 million journey or anything like that. Maybe I will be in the future. I've been in a startup and I looked at trying to buy a business. And I am I'm still looking to do that. Involved in a way in the business world now, which I will share in the future. Still working on it, but I'm still full-time job right now. More looking for diversifying the income, I guess. But how the IT world is going these days, who the heck knows where it's going? Anyway, the main thing about the book was there were several principles. I don't care if you're doing 100 million or million or half a million or 100K. I think those principles apply everywhere. He does talk about if you want to scale $1 million, half a million, maybe it's easier to do, especially if you buy an existing business. Existing business is already $1 million. You buy it. There's ways to buy it. You got to find the right opportunity and all that stuff. If you do it, potentially you already have that business that's doing that. And then if you want to scale it up to 100 million, then maybe that this book, again, probably worth reading again. But there's several principles in it, regardless of whatever business you're doing, even if you're a solopreneur, I think this pretty much would be very useful. Because one of the big lessons is cash flow is king concept, which I really encountered that recently in a discussion I was with space. I was involved in the discussion, and the person has pretty good sized business, multi-million dollar business, but it's struggling for cash. And that goes to his one of the principles, cash flow is king. Don't look to grow. Build the equity and build the cash before you look to grow. That's one of the principles he shares. Then also there's another principle when I was looking at businesses or working with somebody to acquire businesses. One of the things I was very interested in the concept of providing employees equity. And that's one of the things he covers. He calls it phantom equity. The equity is more of only works if the person stays this long and the performance and the company grows only. They don't get any equity if their company doesn't grow. So I like that concept. There are more details to it, but that concept is awesome because I've talked to people about that. There's some couple of business owners and they said it's a messy thing. I don't know how to do it. I haven't figured out how to do it. So if you're one of those business owners looking to provide equity to your employees or executive level or high level employees, this might be a book to read about that. And then there are other parts about leadership, how you have to delineate yourself, because at a certain point, you become a hindrance to the business because you grew it to a certain point, but you need somebody else, fresh eyes, or somebody who's good at managing the business while you're the big level, high level, big picture advisor, chairman kind of deal. Again, a great principle about that too. So anyway, it's about, I think, 7 principles. I have to go back and look at it again. But those are the 3 top principles I really enjoyed. First, don't lose equity. Try to protect your equity. Be careful in the principles I'll try to repeat. Be careful about the equity. Keep as much equity as possible. Don't try to grow by losing your equity in the business, right? Another one is obviously cash flow. Profit loss statements, EBITDA, those don't matter. What's the actual cash in hand? And what's the cash actually you're making, the business is making? That's more important. That's a gem of advice for anybody in any business, small, big, it doesn't matter. Cash is king, as even Warren Buffett will say, or any real estate investor. If you're real estate investing, cash flow is king, right? At least for most people, cash flow is king. I believe in that, being in real estate on the side myself. I've learned that pretty much that, hey, cash flow, that's what you concentrate on because that's all that matters. The cash flow is there, positive cash flow, then rest doesn't matter. What price you bought the house, all that stuff doesn't matter. If you're actually making positive cash flow, doesn't matter. Everything else is immaterial because you can sustain that business for a while. Anyway, highly recommend this book, even if you're not looking to right now scale to 100 million or so. The point is, the principles in this book apply to any size of business, in my opinion. So read it. Maybe you'll become the 100 million guy girl, once you read the book, understand the principles, and if you're building a business, and maybe you can use those principles, start following those principles now, so eventually you can scale it up to the 100 million range. Hopefully, like I said, read the book, even if you don't have a scalable business right now, I say still read the book.